In Switzerland, I used a hybrid solution every day for 1 year, commuting a 25-kilometer distance. And I used a car or public transport only 20 times. Why do I call this e-bike a hybrid? Because it runs on electricity and fuel at the same time. Let me explain how much I spent in cents per kilometer on the body fuel for this hybrid. Hi, Norbert here, energy engineer, and explaining in video 52 how to revolutionize your daily commute with the e-bike, which I call a hybrid. Rightfully so, because it uses both electricity and fuel, which can be oats, bacon and eggs, or cappuccino con cornetto. You can even change the ratio between electricity and fuel by selecting the percentage of electrical power. Later in the video, I will calculate how much electricity and oats you need per 100 kilometer. I want to help you prepare for the future and comply with tightening regulations. In the EU, we have 450 million people, and in 11 years we will no longer be allowed to buy cars with thermal engines. How's that for your country? 4 videos ago, I compared cars with different alternatives to save you €5,000 or US dollars. Among those options, I like the e-bike, maybe because I am Dutch. And here are the most important advantages for you. Healthy. I burned 1000 kilocalories daily on my Swiss commute and felt physically tired but mentally charged. It was awesome. Money. Saving $5,000 per year is a significant part of the average income. The e-bike is such a budget revolution that these $5,000 can be considered net savings depending on the car you replace. Remaining your own boss. Prepare for stricter regulations and rising energy prices. The e-bike gives you maximum flexibility and self-determination. Nobody will bother you for the next century. And what about the environment? Imagine the impact of replacing, let's say 80% of today's cars with e-bikes. Our countries and cities will need less energy, money, space and lithium for EVs and other things. Let's get into some real-life comparisons. A medium-sized electric vehicle consumes about 15 kilowatt-hour on average for every 100 kilometers in urban traffic. If you commute 50 kilometers like I did in Switzerland, that's 8 kilowatt-hours, as much electricity as you consume in a day at home. Now compare this to an e-bike, which uses just a quarter of a kilowatt-hour for those 50 kilometers. That's 30 times less energy. In video 45, I calculated the cost savings if you sell one of your cars. In the description of this video, I also provide links for 10 car cost calculator websites for 10 countries. You can input your own numbers to see how much you can save. For an e-bike, you can count on €2,500 or dollars for the investment, including accessories like a helmet and bags. Yearly costs with 50 kilometers of trip distance can be €500 or dollars for energy, maintenance and new parts, which gives you a high quality e-bike comparable to a mid-class car. For a car costing €25,000 or dollars, you can expect yearly costs, including depreciation, of about €7,500 or dollars, 15 times more than an e-bike per year. And that's 50% more than I calculated in my previous mobility video. Now, what about households with 2 cars? The added value of the second car is obviously lower, so replacing it with the e-bike will cause less pain. However, the annual savings will be a relief for a family which have to pay double car expenses. I researched 10 countries. The USA and Australia have 37 and 36% of 2-car households respectively. The Netherlands and Japan have the lowest, at 19% and 15%. Imagine the money and emissions we can save with this potential. Selling 1 car and buying 1 or 2 e-bikes could better prepare us for a real paradigm shift. And maybe there's still money left for a year ticket of city transport. Please subscribe and choose for the notification option. It costs nothing, and your subscription is like a vote for a domestic energy transition. With this channel, it's always about energy, which is becoming so important in this world. Now I know what you are thinking. What about the weather? In warm weather, a 20 km/h breeze from riding is refreshing. In cold weather, you generate combined heat and power, or CHP, to stay warm, as your body produces about twice as much heat, that's 300 watts, as mechanical power for the pedals, 150 watt. This bike is also light enough to switch off the power completely, producing even more body heat. And if it rains? Well, how often does that really happen in your country? More than 92% of the time it's dry in the Netherlands, where I am from. You can plan for rainy days with alternatives like public transport, taxis or Uber. Or maybe work from home? Bring a compact poncho and you won't get wet. Let's avoid comparing walnuts with coconuts and focus on finding solutions to real problems instead of vice versa. The e-bike is a great answer to the challenges we face, and it will leave more prosperity in a world with limited resources. Using our brains and accepting simpler solutions like the e-bike, combined with other transportation options, can create better conditions for peace and social stability. Switching to an e-bike isn't just about saving money, it's also about improving your health and reducing your environmental footprint. E-bikes offer a great way to obtain moderate exercise. If you're tired going uphill or it's really warm, just switch the power selector 1 or more positions up. In Switzerland, I lived in the hills and needed 70 minutes to go to work and 120 minutes to get back home with a normal bike. And that has been the trigger for me. Now let's calculate how much oats you need per 80 km. That's the range of my battery with a power switch at 30%. At that level, count on 20 kilocalories body energy per kilometer. With nearly 2000 kilocalories in 500 grams of oats, you can go 96 kilometers. So if I switch off the power for a few kilometers, then the energy balance shifts towards body energy. I need about 1 package of oats plus 1 battery charge of 400 watt hours for 85 kilometers. There are also 350 kilocalories in the liter of soy milk I mix with the 500 grams of oats, adding 20% more energy to the diet. This way I can get 100 kilometers with 500 grams of oats plus 1 liter of soy milk. Price €4 or 4 cents per kilometer for the fuel. The electricity cost is 20 cents or 0.2 cents per kilometer. Total 4.2 cents per kilometer. Oops, that's about 40% of the cost per kilometer for a diesel car. It's a little bit much. But at least I had a good breakfast. Ready to buy an e-bike? Here are a few tips. Choose a bike that fits your commuting distance and terrain. If you want to use it for groceries, make sure it can carry a couple of bags or install a box. Look for features like battery life, motor power and weight. And maybe you want an extra battery pack to leave at your work address? Try to bargain for it when buying the e-bike. Avoid high-speed models that cost more, need insurance and are dangerous. Test ride a few models to see what feels best. I got my first bike for a few days on trial and bought it in 2017 with 30% discount for 2,600 Swiss francs. E-bikes aren't just for commuting. They are great for leisure rides, running errands and shopping. Check out these bag solutions and even a cool box for carrying groceries and also fresh food. Here's a video showing how many kilograms I can carry with an e-bike. Imagine saving around 5 grand a year by switching to an e-bike. That's financial freedom right there. You could use that money for a special holiday, save for an uncertain future, or buy a public transport ticket for 1 year for 2 persons. So why not take the plunge this week and experience an e-bike yourself? There's plenty of time this summer to enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more tips on sustainable living. In this other video, I show how much body fuel fits into these simple side bags during shopping. And in this video, you see my video number 45, which tells how to save money on transport at home. And there you see also the calculation how much it costs to have a car.